The Ugly Duckling. It was lovely summer weather in the country. The golden corn, the green oats, and the haystacks piled up in the fields looked beautiful. Long-legged storks walked about, talking in their stork language. The fields and meadows were surrounded by large forests with deep ponds inside. It felt wonderful to walk around outside. In a sunny spot near a deep river stood a cozy old farmhouse. Big green leaves grew from the house down to the water. Under the tallest leaves, a little child could stand up tall. This was a quiet place, like being in the middle of a thick wood. In this little spot, a mother duck sat on her nest. She was waiting for her eggs to hatch. She was getting tired because the little ones were taking a long time to come out of their shells. Not many other ducks visited her there. The other ducks liked swimming in the river, much more than climbing the banks to sit under a big leaf and talk with her. At last, one shell cracked, then another. From each egg came a little creature that lifted its head and cried, "Peep, peep." "Quack, quack," said the mother. Then they all quacked as well as they could. They looked around at the big green leaves. Their mother let them look as much as they liked, because green is good for the eyes. "Wow! The world is big," said the young ducks, when they saw how much more space they had now than when they were inside the eggshells. "Do you think this is the whole world?" asked the mother. "Wait until you have seen the garden. It goes far beyond that. Are you all out?" she asked, standing up. "No, look, the largest egg is still there. I wonder how long this will take. I am quite tired of it." She sat back down on the nest. "Well, how are you doing?" asked an old duck who came for a visit. "One egg is not hatched yet," said the mother duck. "It just won't open. But look at all the others. Aren't they the prettiest little ducklings you ever saw? They look just like their father." "Let me see the egg that won't open," said the old duck. "I think it's a turkey egg. I tried hatching some once. After all my work, the little ones were scared of the water. I quacked and called, but it didn't help. I couldn't get them to go in. Let me look at the egg. Yes, that's a turkey egg. Take my advice. Leave it there and teach the other children to swim." "I think I will sit on it just a little longer," said the mother duck. "I have sat for so long already, a few more days won't hurt." "Suit yourself," said the old duck, and she waddled away. At last, the large egg broke. A young one crawled out, crying, "Peep, peep." It was very big and looked different. The mother duck looked at it and said, "It is very large and not like the others at all. I wonder if it really is a turkey. We will find out soon when we go to the water. It must go in, and he must go in the water like the others." The next day was sunny and warm. The sun shone brightly on the green leaves, so the mother duck took her young ones down to the water. She jumped in with a splash. "Quack, quack," she called. One after another, the little ducklings jumped in. The water covered them for a second, but they popped right back up. They swam around so nicely, paddling their legs easily. The different-looking duckling was in the water swimming with them too. "Oh," said the mother, "that is not a turkey. Look how well he uses his legs, how straight he holds himself. He is my own child. And he isn't so very different after all if you look just right. Quack, quack, come with me now. I will take you to meet everyone in the farmyard. But you must stay close to me so you don't get stepped on. And stay close to me in this busy place." When they reached the farmyard, there was a bit of fuss. Some other birds were arguing. "See, children, that's how things can be sometimes," said the mother duck. "Come now, use your legs and show me how well you can walk and greet others. You must nod your heads nicely to that old duck over there. She is very respected here. Do you see the little colored band on her leg? That means she's special and everyone knows who she is. Come now, walk nicely. A well-behaved duckling walks with feet spread wide, like father and mother. Like this. Now bend your neck and say quack." The ducklings did as they were told, but the other ducks looked at them. One said, "Look, here comes another group, as if we don't have enough already. And what a strange-looking one that is. We don't need him here." Then one duck hurried over and pushed the big duckling away a little. "Leave him alone," said the mother. "He isn't causing any trouble." "Yes, but he's so big and looks so different," said the other duck. "He just doesn't fit in here." "The other ducklings are cute enough," said the old duck with the band on her leg. "All but that one. I wish his mother could make him look a little nicer." "That's not possible," replied the mother. "He isn't pretty, it's true, but he has a very kind heart, and he swims as well or even better than the others. I think he will grow up just fine, and maybe he will look better later. He stayed in the egg a long time. So maybe his shape is a bit off right now." Then she gently smoothed his feathers on his neck. "He'll be strong and able to take care of himself." "The other ducklings are lovely," said the old duck. "Make yourselves at home. If you find any tasty scraps, feel free to bring them over." So they settled in the farmyard, but the poor duckling who looked so different felt unwelcome. The other birds seemed to notice how big and different he was. They would sometimes keep their distance or say things like, "He looks so strange." Even his brothers and sisters weren't always kind. He felt sad because he looked so different and seemed to not fit in. He felt pushed away. So finally, he ran away. He fluttered over the fence, startling the little birds nearby as he went. "They are scared of me because I look so different," he thought. He closed his eyes and flew even farther. He came to a large, empty grassy area where some wild ducks lived. He stayed there all night, feeling very tired and lonely. In the morning, when the wild ducks got up, they looked at the new arrival. "What kind of duck are you?" they all asked, gathering around him. He nodded politely, but didn't answer their question. "You are very, very different looking," said the wild ducks. "But that's okay with us. You can stay here if you like." Poor thing. All he wanted was permission to hide among the tall grasses and drink some water. After he had been there for 2 days, 2 wild geese came by. They were very young and a bit cheeky. "Hey, friend," said one of them to the duckling. "You look so different. We think you're kind of interesting. Want to come with us? There's another place, not far from here, with lots of wild geese. Maybe you'll find friends there." Suddenly, there were loud noises. The 2 young geese got very scared and flew away fast. More loud noises echoed across the grassy area. Flocks of wild geese flew up from the tall grass. Sounds came from everywhere, and dogs bounded through the tall grass, which bent down under them. Oh, how they scared the poor duckling. He quickly tucked his head under his wing to hide. Just then, a large dog ran very close to him. Its mouth was open. Its tongue hung out. It sniffed right near the duckling. Then, splash, splash! It jumped into the water without touching him. "Oh," sighed the duckling. "Maybe it's good that I look so different. Even a dog doesn't bother me." And so he lay very still while the loud sounds continued and things moved through the grass above him. It was late in the day before everything became quiet again. But even then, the poor young thing didn't dare to move. He waited quietly for a long time. Then, after looking carefully all around, he hurried away from the grassy area as fast as he could. He ran over fields and meadows until a storm began. He could hardly move against the wind and rain. Towards evening, he reached a poor little cottage. It looked so old it seemed ready to fall over. The storm was so strong that the duckling couldn't go any farther. He sat down near the cottage. He saw that the door wasn't closed all the way because one of the hinges was broken. There was a little gap near the bottom, just big enough for him to slip through. He did this very quietly and found a place to shelter for the night. A woman, a tomcat, and a hen lived in this cottage. The tomcat, whom the woman called "my little son," was a favorite. He could arch his back and purr loudly. The hen had short legs, so she was called Chicky Shortlegs. She laid good eggs, and her mistress loved her very much. In the morning, they found the strange visitor. The tomcat began to purr, and the hen began to cluck. "What's all this noise about?" said the old woman, looking around. Her eyesight wasn't very good, so when she saw the duckling, she thought it must be a plump duck that had gotten lost. "Oh, what a lucky find," she said. "I hope it's a girl duck. Then I might get some duck eggs. I'll have to wait and see." So the duckling was allowed to stay for 3 weeks to see if he laid eggs. But he didn't. Now, the tomcat and the hen felt very important in this house. They thought their way was the only way. The duckling thought that maybe others might have different ideas, but the hen didn't seem to understand. "Can you lay eggs?" she asked the duckling. "No." "Oh, you can't? Well, that's what's important here. Can you arch your back or purr?" said the tomcat. "No." You can't do those things? Those are the things we do." So the duckling sat in a corner, feeling very sad. Then the sunshine and fresh air came into the room through the open door, and he suddenly felt such a strong wish to swim on the water. He couldn't help but tell the hen. "What a strange idea," said the hen. "Swimming? That's not what we do here. But it is so wonderful to swim on the water," said the duckling, "and so refreshing to feel it close over your head when you dive down." "Wonderful? Really?" said the hen. "That sounds very different from what we like. Ask the cat, he knows a lot. Or our mistress, the old woman. They don't swim like that." "You don't understand me," said the duckling. "We don't understand what you mean about swimming," said the hen. "That's not what we're used to here. We like it warm and cozy inside. You should try to learn what we do." "I think I must go out into the world again," said the duckling. "Yes, do," said the hen. So the duckling left the cottage. He soon found water where he could swim and dive, but other animals still stayed away from him because he looked so different. Autumn came. The leaves in the forest turned beautiful colors, orange and gold. Then, as winter got closer, the wind caught the falling leaves and swirled them in the cold air. Heavy clouds, filled with snow, hung low in the sky. The crow sat on the branches, crying, "Caw, caw." It made one shiver with cold. All this was very sad for the poor little duckling. One evening, just as the sun was setting in lovely, colorful clouds, a large group of beautiful birds came out of the bushes. The duckling had never seen any like them before. They were swans. They had long, graceful necks, and their soft feathers shone with bright whiteness. They made a special sound as they spread their big wings and flew away from the cold towards warmer places across the sea. As they flew higher and higher into the sky, the different-looking little duckling felt a very strange feeling watching them. He spun around in the water like a little boat, stretched out his neck towards them, and made a sound he had never made before. He could never forget those beautiful, happy birds. When they were finally out of sight, he dived under the water and came back up, feeling very excited inside. He didn't know the names of these birds or where they had gone, but he felt something for them that he had never felt for any other bird in the world. He wasn't jealous of these beautiful creatures, but he wished he could be as lovely as they were. Poor, different-looking creature. How happy he would have been to live even with the ducks if they had just been kind to him. The winter grew colder and colder. He had to keep swimming in the water to try and keep it from freezing, but every night, the area where he swam got smaller and smaller. At last, it froze so hard that the water around him became very, very small. He tried to paddle his legs, but it was too cold, and he became very, very tired. He lay still as the ice formed around him. Early in the morning, a farmer who was walking by saw what had happened. He gently broke the ice around the duckling. He carefully carried the duckling home to his wife. The warmth in the house helped the poor little creature feel better. But when the children wanted to pet him, the duckling thought they would hurt him. So he jumped up in a fright. He fluttered into the milk bowl, splashing milk around the room. The woman gasped, which scared him even more. He flew first into the butter tub, then into the flour bin, and out again. Oh dear, what a mess he was. The woman sighed, and the children giggled at the funny sight. But luckily, he escaped. The door was still open. The poor creature managed to flutter out among the bushes and lay down quite tired in the soft, new snow. He had a lonely and difficult time during the cold winter. But when it was over, he found himself lying one morning in a grassy area among the tall reeds. He felt the warm sun shining and heard happy birds singing. He saw that all around was beautiful springtime. Then the young bird felt that his wings were strong. He flapped them against his sides and rose high into the air. They carried him onward until he found himself in a large, beautiful garden. Apple trees were full of pink and white flowers. The sweet-smelling elder trees bent their long green branches down to a stream that flowed around a smooth green lawn. Everything looked lovely and fresh in the early spring. From a bushy area nearby came 3 beautiful white swans. Their feathers rustled softly, and they swam lightly over the smooth water. The duckling remembered the lovely birds he had seen before. He felt even more strangely sad than ever. "I will fly to those wonderful birds," he said to himself. "They won't want me near because I look so different. They will probably chase me away. But it doesn't matter. It's better to be pushed away by them than to feel unwelcome like I did with the ducks and chickens, or be lonely and cold all winter." Then he flew to the water and swam towards the beautiful swans. The moment they saw the newcomer, they swam quickly to meet him with outstretched wings. "Just push me away," said the poor bird, and he bent his head down towards the water, expecting them to chase him off. But what did he see in the clear water below? His own image. He was no longer a dark, grayish bird who looked different and out of place. He was a graceful and beautiful swan. To be born in a duck's nest on a farm is okay for a bird, if it hatches from a swan's egg. He now felt happy that he had gone through sad and difficult times, because it helped him enjoy all the happiness and beauty around him so much more. The big swans swam around the new arrival and gently touched his neck with their beaks, as if to welcome him. Into the garden came some little children. They threw bread and cake into the water for the birds. "Look!" cried the youngest. "There's a new one!" The rest of the children were delighted. They ran to their father and mother, clapping their hands and shouting happily, "There is another swan! A new one has arrived!" Then they threw more bread and cake into the water. They said, "The new one is the most beautiful of all. He is so young and lovely." And the older swans bowed their heads to him. Then he felt quite shy and tucked his head under his wing for a moment. He didn't know what to do. He was so happy. He didn't feel proud at all. He had been avoided and thought of as plain because he looked different. And now he heard them say he was the most beautiful bird of all. Even the elder tree bent its branches down over the water before him, and the sun shone warm and bright. Then he ruffled his feathers, curved his long, slender neck, and cried out joyfully from deep in his heart, "I never dreamed of such happiness."